Talking about the market, I want to paint what's going on nationally and tie to what's happening locally for you to have a complete picture of where things are, okay? The one thing I shall do is try to provide certainty amidst so many moving parts that are happening all around us right now. And you are going to absolutely love it. Stay tuned. Hey, Ravi with the Rams Group at eXp Realty here. And if this is the first time we're connecting, I welcome you to my channel where I strive to provide meaningful, relevant, and educational content to keep you in the real estate know, as well as home sellers and buyers. Now back to what I was going to share with you. You may be wondering, where is the market headed as a whole in the new year, 2022, correct? Well, it is dependent on four key factors in my opinion. Factor number one, the interest rates. There is widespread talk about the interest rates going higher from where they are right now to the end of this year. And they're at low threes right now, and it is talked about them going to the upper threes. And you also may be wondering whether the Fed is going to continue to raise the interest rates or not. That's factor number one. And number two, what about inflation? Now, the annual inflation rate in the US accelerated to 7% last month, and the highest it's ever been since June of 1982, as you may have heard. Now, factor number three, this is an unknown. What's going to happen with the virus situation? Coronavirus, Omicron, etc. Sheer craziness out there. And finally, factor number four. And of all the factors that I called out, number four is the key determinant, which is the home inventory, which is going to be kind of telling us where the market is going to be headed in 2022. And it all boils down to just that. There aren't homes in the market at all, right? So inventory kind of trumps all the other three factors: inflation, interest rates, and the virus even. And the bad news is that listings, as we know, again, is at record low. Over the last couple of years, interest rates have been low, and people's desire to own homes have made them all pile on and buy, which has basically depleted the home supply all across the country. Plus, the way the prices have been increasing makes sellers stay put for a couple of reasons. Number one is to realize the price appreciation in their own homes. And number two, which is a hidden factor, which is if the sellers were to sell their homes, where would they go and buy? So that is also causing this uncertainty, making them stay put. So Realtor.com looks at where we were in December of 2020 and compares it to where we were in December of 2021. And the data shows that just a month ago, the national average inventory was approximately 27% down year over year. And you can look also across the country that Idaho is leading the way at 55% home inventory increase. But most of the country in this lighter brown color is somewhere between 15 to 30% down. And yes, there is a significant lack of inventory across the US. Now, the truth is, we will not be able to reach our potential market because we cannot sell what we don't have, correct? Now, if you had plenty of inventory, you'd probably see more homes being sold in this country than ever before. However, we don't have the homes to sell, and which forces us into the situation we are currently in. So if you are in the market for buying a home, this is exactly what you'll face. Now, if you looked at how inventory has been trending since the January of 2019, started to dip down around July, and then it spiked back up during the lockdown in April and May of 2020, and then sort of depleted since then. Now, the record low of December and January last year had under 2 months of supply. And we are right near that point now as well. Just to refresh, months of inventory is how long the current homes that are active on the market will take to sell, assuming no new homes came on the market, okay? While inventory is primary, close second is the virus situation. Now, depending on how that goes, it could affect people delaying putting their houses on the market for sale. Now, I don't think it's going to have any long-term effect by any stretch of imagination. However, that is a factor that might come into play. Now, so much for the perspective about sellers. However, what's happening with the buyers? You may be wondering, right? Now, the effect of the pandemic has not deterred buyers at all, which is what we're seeing. The low interest rates coupled with the lack of inventory is just causing frustration amongst buyers for not being able to get the homes of their choice, and then that too without having to pay way up than what the homes are listed for. And the pandemic sure is not slowing down buyer demand by any stretch of imagination. Now, we've tracked the data in Showing Time, which is an app that the multiple listing service uses to track the number of showings in listed properties all across the nation. And there, the showing index shows that there was super strong showing activity in November of 2021 compared to 2020. And the 3 years prior. So if you're wondering if the real estate market is going to slow down, it is not. And the number of showings is definitely an indicator of buyer activity, correct? Which actually starts with buyer showing activity, which turns into number of contracts, which then eventually turns into pending sales, which eventually turns into closing sales. So that's the pipeline. Now, buyer activity is super strong. It could be the impetus of rising interest rates, with them saying, geez, we got to do something before the interest rates rise. FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. All that said, we just need more listings, plain and simple. Also, I wanted to touch on this factor, which is called home equity, that homeowners have currently built in their current homes. Now, CoreLogic's third quarter home equity report shows that the average homeowner with a mortgage gained approximately $57,000 in equity. Wait, let that sink in for a second. Now, what is cool is they tracked the average homeowner's equity that they built over the last year by state, as you can see. And the West Coast appreciated more than the rest of the country, returning greater equity to homeowners. For example, if you are a California homeowner, the average equity increase in 1 year was $119,000. Now, that is the average for the entire state, by the way. Overall, for all the states in the US, it was $57,000 last year. And this was also interesting. Year over year percentage increase in equity across the US was 31.1%. And for homes with mortgages, it was $3.2 trillion rise in equity. They go on to say that this summer, home price growth reached the highest level in more than 45 years, pushing the equity gains to another record high. So, equity, no doubt, is the shining star of the pandemic. And in every major city, it was cheaper to buy a home than to rent when you consider the equity growth. And the ability to build wealth through equity is one of the greatest benefits of homeownership, as you know. Also, I wanted to share the mortgage rate projections for 2022. You can see that Fannie, Freddie, National Association of Realtors, which is NAR, and MBA are saying that the rates would reach the mid to higher threes by the end of this year. The last 10 plus years, we've been between 3 to 5% in the average 30-year fixed. Still super low rates compared to where we have been historically. Also, as we discussed, home inventory is the key word here. Buyers are willing to take a quarter to a half percentage point rise in interest rates compared to the ability of them finding a home. Now, I'd like to quickly touch upon forbearances as well. Forbearances have fallen below 1 million, and I believe forbearances are going to be a non-issue for this year. They are just under 1 million, which is about 890,000 mortgages actively in forbearance. Now, that represents about 1.6% of all the active mortgages that are out there. And for homes that are already in forbearance, 4 out of 5 are coming out of it, either by having gone through a workout or signing up for a payback program. And added to that, remember that homeowners have a lot of built-in equity, like we discussed before, which gives them additional options for not going into forbearance. So overall, I think that 2022 will be another strong year for housing, albeit a little bit higher in mortgage rates. We do think that home sales will continue to rise and actually hit a 16-year high in 2022. So no doubt, across the country, we're seeing a lot of things happening in real estate, and we need more inventory. You know, that's the one thing that I'd like to hammer. Buyers are in full force, but overall, it looks like a very, very good real estate market coming up for 2022. With that picture of what's happening nationally, here's what is happening locally in the 3 counties, King, Snohomish, and Pierce. And the latest data that just got out shows that whatever is happening nationally is happening on steroids in the Seattle area too. Now, there were a little over 1,000 homes, active homes listed for sale, which is a 22.9% decrease in inventory compared to the December of 2020. And we saw a decrease of 18% and a 6% in inventory in Snohomish and Pierce counties as well. Also, the active days on market, which is the days before a home goes under contract, was just 15 days. Now, this is for the whole of King County. And while that is true, homes in Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, and even Bothell, we are seeing offers being accepted way before the offer review dates. Coming to the year-over-year average, price for single-family homes in King County, the appreciation from 2020 was 17.8%. However, in Snohomish County, the average price increased by 24.7%. Also, an interesting thing that we noticed was that Snohomish and Pierce counties, the average price of condos appreciated by 35% and just 9% in King County. I guess people are all moving out and working from remote. And condos seem to appear more attractive in Snohomish and Pierce counties compared to King real estate. There is a reduction of about 67% of inventory. That is, number of homes for sale. Yes, November and December are normally supposed to be the slow months for real estate. And this year, the low inventory coupled with extremely busy buyers took this December to a whole new level. The months of inventory hovered just about 0.2 months, which is 6 days, right? Which is not surprising given the flurry of activity we have been seeing. And this is also a 60% decrease in the number of homes for sale, which is something to note. Now, I've included data for all the three counties, King, Snohomish, and Pierce, below in the resources section for you to slice and dice. And also, feel free to comment below if you gleaned something new, any aha moments, and if you got a sense as to where the real estate market is headed. Hey, another friendly ask, if you found the information in this video useful, you hitting that subscribe button and smashing that bell icon and liking this video will not only help the algorithm, but will help others too derive value, and I totally appreciate you for that. And included below is my contact information for you to connect with me. If you are a buyer, first time, or if this is your 10th home, doesn't matter. Feel free to connect, and we at the Rams Group are delighted to help you. And if you are a seller, we have multiple unique strategies to help you leverage the market even better, to help you net thousands more than what you would have otherwise gotten. And so it just is worth your time to get in touch with us as well. And to summarize, the keyword to watch for this year is home inventory. And interest rates are also going to slowly go back up, which we know. And aside from all that, I'm keeping an eye on the pandemic and its impact on real estate, and will be happy to update you as I know more. Now, I wanted to bring you up to speed as you started your new year, fully knowing what's going on both nationally as well as how it is impacting locally. Now, until the next time, you stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.